Maul Peak. This is your review for 2. Good day, my name is Joe. Today we'll be going over Maul Peak and how it plays with 2 players. Now Maul Peak is a asymmetrical 2-player only game. One player is going to control the Guardian, trying to mash all of the Grizzar, which are these bears around who are the defenders of the people, but the Guardian has been here longer. And the bears are trying to destroy all the different body parts and all the different locations of the Guardian itself. The Guardian also has its own win condition if it doesn't want to destroy all the Grizzar, and whoever accomplishes their goal first wins. So let's see a little bit more how to play. So in Maul Peak, the first decision to be made is who's going to play the Guardian, who's going to play the Grizzar. And then the next decision is which Guardian am I going to play? There's 4 Guardians in the box, and there's these huge hulking beasts of these Guardians. So which one are you going to play? Each one of them has their own deck that they're going to have. They're going to have their own player mat with their own special abilities, and the cards are going to match. The Grizzar is always going to have the same deck of cards, and they're just going to set up how they normally do. So once again, somebody's going to be the Guardian, somebody's going to be the Grizzar, and you're going to draw up to the hand size that's on the board, and you're going to get that many actions. So on your turn, you have your 4 cards, and you're just going to do these actions. For Saboso, the intro Guardian, you're going to get 3 actions, and you're just going to play a card and do what it says. What's interesting about the Guardian is there's some cards that you cannot play if the Grizzar has damaged your body parts. But essentially, on your turn, you get to do your 3 actions. You're going to move your power from your pool to your bank, draw up to your hand size, and go on to the next player's turn. So it's going to start with the Guardian player's turn. And then we're going to go on to the Grizzar's turn, and they're going to do the exact same thing. Now, what's interesting about them is they're going to control a multitude of these bears, of these heroes that they're going to summon throughout the game and recruit. Some may be able to cast fireballs at long range. Some may be able to conjure a little spirit beast, or some may just be good at attacking. But you are trying to get into the monster space. The board is consisted of a little 3x3 grid. So of these actions, you're going to try to move to the monster space and then maybe climb up his legs and start attacking his legs, attacking his arms, so he has less abilities to use, and so forth and so forth. But essentially, it's just going to go back and forth with the Grizzar trying to take down the Guardian, and the Guardian has its own special win condition, as well as knocking all the Grizzar off the board. So let's see a little bit more what I thought about the game. Let's talk about the rules and references. Well, the rules, they're pretty straightforward, and really for the most part, they do a great job going into those references in the rule book. So when I play a card that says this ability, it is spelled out in the rule book. It's spelled out on the reference sheets. The references and the ease of play for this game is really good. I really enjoyed all the references that came in Maul Peak and how accessible this game is to getting a new Guardian and being able to play in no time. The components itself, I kind of really like. It's just this board, which is kind of odd because normally it's not in a diamond shape toward your opponent and yourself, but this is kind of interesting. The wooden components are neat. The little Grizzar have little cute bear meeples, and then the Guardian is going to have a big one, as well as each one of their own little player boards for the big Guardians. The components in this game also just a treat to get to the table. Now let's talk about setup and table size. Setup, well, this really won't take you very long. It is shuffle your individual decks after one player's chosen the Guardian, put the Guardian meeple up there, and each one of them comes in its own little box, so they're easy to get to the table for the 4 Guardians. Read their special rules, familiarize yourself a little bit, familiarize the opponent, the Grizzar, with that, and you're kind of ready to play. So I'd say setup is a breeze, probably 5 minutes or less to get this to the table. Now, as far as table size goes, we are a little bit more spread out, but this game doesn't have to be. This can definitely be played on a 3x3, and you'll have plenty of space to move around the board. So now let's go into the gameplay, and the gameplay with the a specific two-player game really strikes a chord with me because I love those head-to-head duels, especially asymmetrical side where one player is playing something totally different than the other player. The monster is really just trying to knock out the Grizzar, the bears on the board, and it's just kind of fun to have this hulking beast move across using your cards. And there's a lot of card synergy. You can, do you want to, power up this turn so you can have a better next turn? Do you want to kind of reserve your cards? Knowing what's in your deck can really be a big boon for this game. The more you play it, the more familiar, the more intimate you are with each of the Guardians and the Grizzar player, the more this game kind of will open up for you, knowing that I played this card. It may not be coming back for a while because I only have one of those cards in the deck, and you can kind of maneuver around there. Or this card hasn't come up yet, it'll come up soon and I can prepare for that. Or just knowing what are the abilities of each of the bears. I think knowing that the magic bear, I think it's just called the mage, can shoot fireballs from a distance. Knowing that as the guardian player, I need to get over there and make sure that I keep him in check. Or as the Grizzar player, it's, can I keep this guy away? Because it does take a lot of power to get this summoned. So there's a lot of gameplay to this. There's a lot of in-depth thought. It's fun climbing up the leg. Every action you can just see these little meeples climbing up this big monster and doing a little bit of damage. It just feels really good. The gameplay flows really well. I will say though, on the gameplay itself is the Guardian can always change because you can pick a different Guardian every time. They each play differently because they have their own sets of decks. Now, the only thing that the Grizzar gets to do differently is pick a different, I think I'm going to call it a spirit animal, but I think it's called something else in the rule book. But they get to pick a different one of those that the Druid can summon. And that's it. The Grizzar player is always going to play the same. Now, they may have to adapt to the Guardian, but there's not a whole lot that's going to change game to game from the Grizzar's perspective, from the hero's perspective. And that's where I think this game falls just a tiny bit flat for me, is the longevity of this game, maybe a little bit lower. However, if you don't play this all the time, if you play it enough, maybe once a year with the same person, I can see this being a really good game to grab off the shelf. Under 5 minutes, you start playing. One person always plays the same side, so they know what to do. You could get this game down. This says 40 minutes. You could get this down to about 20, 25 minutes or so. Just knowing the cards, knowing how to play, how quick this is to get to the table. And that's where I think this game really shines, is so you don't want to play it a ton at the same time, but you have 45 minutes to kill. You grab this off the shelf, you put it out. Great two-player asymmetry, head-to-head. A lot of fun to get to the table. Like I said, just lacks a little bit of that depth, a little bit of the change from the Grizzar player for me, because you're always going to really play the same for the most part. However, I just think there's a lot of good game in this box. It's a lot of fun. I know this is kind of a sequel to another game that they have. I don't want to say it right now because I'll probably forget it and say it wrong, but definitely check out Maul Peak if you want a 45-minute or less experience, asymmetry, head-to-head, where you're just heroes. I'm going to call the Grizzar heroes, and then the big bad Guardian as the bad guy, even though not necessarily bad. And it's just fun. It is really kind of a one versus all head-to-head game. So really great game for two. Longevity, it's in there, but for the right crowd, this is a great game. Flows really well, and we had a lot of fun with this game, which is the most important to us. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the review, and until next time.